Hey everyone, this is part 2 in a 5-part series on how to get clear and figure out what you want to do in the next chapter of your life. So grab a pen, grab a notebook, and let's get this week's exercise started. Hey my friends, welcome or welcome back. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Farzana. I am a life coach and a transformation teacher, and I help people just like you navigate the process of change and personal development. All right, so let's get right into this week's exercise. And in order to do this week's exercise, you're going to need the audit that we did last week handy. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to go ahead and grab that. Now, if you missed last week's episode and last week's exercise, not to worry. I've put the link to that video down below in the description. So you've had a week to do the current life situation audit. How did it go? What sorts of things kept coming up in your good stuff column? What sorts of activities and actions and behaviors or people consistently made you happy? As you reflected upon these things, what is it about these things that make you happy? So for example, for me, I found that for these last couple of months, I've been producing this YouTube channel and also online courses. And this has been bringing me a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. And why? Well, it brings me a lot of joy and happiness because one, I am being creative, I'm doing what I love, and I am learning something new every single day. And learning new stuff just makes me happy, and learning new stuff definitely helps me towards my goals. Yoga consistently lands in my good stuff column. Why do I love yoga? I feel that yoga contributes to my happiness and overall well-being because it helps me on all 3 levels. It keeps me calm mentally, physically, and spiritually. And when I'm calm, I can sit down and get a lot of work done and keep a lot of focus. I've also found that consciously drinking more water over the last couple of months has definitely contributed to my overall sense of well-being. So that will definitely be a habit that I continue. All right, so then as you filled out your bad stuff column, what did you find consistently contributed to depleting your sense of happiness, health, and well-being? What sorts of patterns did you notice in the bad stuff column? Are there things that consistently showed up in the bad stuff column that you just know are not good for your happiness and well-being? That don't contribute towards your success or your goals? What things took you away from your goals, your success? Using myself as an example, I found that in my bad stuff column, the pattern seemed to be that if I got too obsessed on a project, like I'm too excited and I want to get into it and I put myself into, I just want to just get a little bit more done, I throw myself off balance. I'm not sticking to my usually scheduled balanced routine where, I'm getting exercise, I'm taking breaks, I'm taking a walk, and I'm having good nutrition. And if I don't do that, it is very noticeable that I get cranky, there's a slump in my energy, my mood, and my productivity. So that pattern of getting too obsessed in doing my work doesn't work for me and is not good for me. So what are the patterns you noticed that contributed to depleting your sense of happiness, well-being, and health? So before we continue into exercise number 2, I'd like to quickly again give a quick reminder that as you do these exercises and you really want to design the next chapter of your life to be awesome and totally you and to create a life that you really want, it takes you being really honest with yourself and getting real with where you're at and how you really think and feel about things, right? And it's also really important that as you observe yourself and your habits and your behaviors and your thoughts, It's absolutely crucial that you stay compassionate with yourself, right? And stay kind with yourself and just really observe your behaviors, your actions, and your thoughts and your words. Like, don't start judging yourself and don't start blaming or shaming yourself in any form or fashion. So today's exercise number 2, is my take on the classic stop, start, continue. So I like to actually have 4 columns, and I like to call it more, less, stop, and start. So now you can stick to just a regular 4-column format and keep it really simple. Or if you want to, just jazz it up and get creative and make it totally you don't have to stick to columns. You could have circles going on. You could have stars. Any which way that you want to create 4 buckets, basically, right? But label one of your sections to be more, label another section to be less, label another section to be stop, and label the last section to be start. You got that? All right, great. So you're going to be needing the audit sheet from last week in order to fill out these 4 buckets of today's exercise. So what today's exercise is going to help you do is to reallocate your time, your energy, your creativity, and skills towards the things that really matter to you, towards the things that contribute to your greater and greater happiness, health, well-being, and success in life. Okay, so from last week's good stuff column, what are you going to carry over into this week's more column? What are the things that you want to continue doing? What are the things you want to do more of in the next chapter of your life? Why? What are the benefits? All right, so next, from your bad stuff column on your audit sheet, what are the things that you'd like to do less of? These are things you eventually probably want to stop because they're not contributing to your happiness, your well-being, or your success, but you're not quite ready to go completely cold turkey on it, right? You need to ease out of this. For me. So figure out, like, what is the thing in your bad column that you know you're going to have to stop because it's not good for your happiness and it's not good for your well-being or your success, but you know that you're not going to be able to go completely cold turkey and just straight up stop. So we're going to go halfway and put it in do less of. And then the less of that item, like I said, could end up in another, when you do this again, could end up in the stop section, right? Hey, if you're getting value from these tips and techniques and exercises, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, like the video, and please feel free to share the video with anyone else, your friends or family, who could also find these tips and techniques useful. Sweet. So now that we've figured out what you're going to continue doing more of and what you're going to do less of, let's figure out what you're going to just stop doing. Now this comes from your bad stuff column. So what in your bad stuff column are you absolutely certain that this habit, this behavior, this action, this whatever needs to stop? Like, it just cannot continue forth into your next chapter because this thing or this activity absolutely depletes your happiness, takes away from your health and your well-being, and takes you completely off track from your goals and the things that you are trying to accomplish. So moving on to the 4th bucket of today's diagram and exercise. So this is the bucket that you have labeled start. So what are some things that you know that you are not currently doing, but you know that it would contribute to your happiness, health, success, and well-being? What do you need to start doing to start moving you towards your goals, towards your success, towards your greater happiness and health and well-being? So again, take the time to do this simple but powerful exercise Because if you do take the time to dig deep, you are going to get a real snapshot on how you should be spending your time in order to create a new chapter of your life that is full of more happiness, more joy, doing the things that you love, the things that bring you joy, the things that you love to do, and then naturally will thrive at. Woohoo! And that brings us to the end of part 2 in this 5-part series on how to design the next chapter of your one awesome, precious life of yours. I'll see you next Wednesday as we get into exercise number 3.